I'm down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk.
I'm down to dunk.
This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
We say this is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
Are you a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
Do you have a gallon of milk I can also take home?
You don't have milk at home?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch.
Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah. Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me this morning, I've got Tayshawn.
It's Tayshawn and the boys in the morning.
Is that the new?
Is that
Yeah,
thing?
trying another one. Yeah.
You're really trying some
maybe
stuff.
that can be just the theme for this version of the pod, the Fry Pod.
Okay.
Where it's just us three.
This is
Yeah.
like the radio.
Yeah. Now hold on a second. You were the
Morning
lead
radio.
on that,
Well, I am in the middle.
It's true.
Center camera.
and it was Tayshawn and the boys.
Yep.
And Alex.
Right. I wanted to address a YouTube comment from last week.
Okay.
Someone commented that.
Yeah. And
Don't do this to me.
Yes,
I didn't. Don't take me down because someone else said this.
please do.
The comment was, Alex looks like he's very intimidated by Taylor. And I just want to let that person know I'm going to bring more alpha energy this week. All right. Maybe I was giving off beta vibes clearly last week. I'm not going to let Taylor dominate me like that anymore. And we will be at least on an even playing field this week. So get ready.
Do you know what you did to me this week, person that said that? You've just opened the door for Alex to just rip me apart all podcast in really short, witty, snarky ways. It's not going to be like,
You don't have to worry about it. It's too early for that.
Prepare yourselves. Just like the Hornets did to the Thunder last night.
Yeah, they were prepared.
Prepared. God, it was. I did not expect that. You know, you're feeling a little pumped up. You hear the news that the Thunder are getting a national TV game. You're like, yeah, we deserve that. They played so well this year. This is great. They're going into Charlotte. You're like, Charlotte stinks. I think we spent like 20 minutes on Wednesday talking about how terrible that team is.
Yeah, we did. And Jay immediately texted us after the pod.
Yeah.
Like, you guys definitely jinxed that game.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
you guys made Mark Williams have 2 career highs last night.
Mark Williams was awesome last night. And I don't know if that's Mark Williams being awesome or just the fact that Jay Will is just not ready to play NBA minutes.
Dude, I just want to read the lines for just their big men. PJ Washington, 10 of 13. Mason Plumlee, 6 of 7.
Yeah.
Jalen McDaniels, 5 of 7. Mark Williams, 7 of 7.
Yeah.
I went on Cleaning the Glass, which has like individual game stats.
Yeah.
What do you think, if you know, don't say it. What do you think OKC shot at the rim in that game? What would you guess?
Probably pretty good.
Okay, so what do you think? Give me a number.
God. I don't know.
53%. I don't know.
Well, that would be terrible. And they were even worse than that. They were 51%. 51% at the rim
Yeah.
as a team.
It feels right.
Now, a lot of that was Shea, actually. Shea was like 53% at the rim in that game.
Yeah.
It was one of Shea's. I mean, he still got his points, but it was not a good Shea game outside, like especially in the second half. It felt like he was very out of sync in that second half.
Yeah.
Dort, and I don't want to bag on Dort because he had his best 3-point shooting game of
5
the
of
year.
7.
5 of 7. 3 of 3 from the line.
22
22 points.
It's great.
Might have been one of his worst finishing games ever, though. Some of the attempts, he was 2 of 6 at the rim last night. Now, I just told you OKC was 51%. What do you think Charlotte shot at the rim last night?
Well,
77%.
no, more than that.
What do you think?
82%.
93.3% at the rim.
Oh my God.
3.3.
They just like accidentally missed a shot at the rim.
Yeah, that's like
Is it like two shots they missed?
It must be, yeah. I mean, they took a lot of shots, and as I was watching that game, I was like, man, this must be like the most points in the paint scored on the Thunder. It wasn't actually close. It just felt that way. Like the Knicks had 2 games where they scored over 70 points in the paint against the Thunder this season. Yeah. And last night Charlotte only had 58, but it felt like everything was at the rim. And you don't want to put it all on J. Will, because I didn't think anyone was particularly good defensively last night.
Yeah.
Like Kenrich
and Mike Muscala played last night,
and
too.
Mike Muscala plays well, but like Kenrich, I thought was not good last night. He gave up at least 2 and 1s where he just had like a dumb foul and the guy made it. I didn't think Wiggins was good last night. So like there were reasons why guys were getting to the rim, but man, J. Will, this game felt like it was set up for him in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte is the worst offense in the league.
By far.
Worst.
Didn't look like it.
Did not look like it last night.
It looked pretty
Worst
fun.
offense in the league. And when you look at their big men, like I like PJ Washington. He's on my fantasy team.
Mhm.
But there was no one where we were joking about Mason Plumlee. Oh, you can do whatever you want. You might as well throw J. Will out there, see what happens. Well, we saw what happened, Andrew.
We did. We saw it
Domination.
And it's weird, like it was domination. And
that's disrespectful to Mason Plumlee, too, by the way. He's been in the league.
Sure.
He has. We were joking on the Discord.
He's gotten minutes every year in the league.
He's a backup center. That's great.
We were reminiscing about the preseason article that was written about him, where the lead was like, the question isn't if Mason Plumlee is going to get a triple double. The question is how many is he going to get? And he had 0 that year for the Blazers. This is written in the preseason. It's like just a classic.
It's not
preseason.
it.
That is a classic.
It's how many.
But yeah, with J. Will, man, it's not even that, like, because we've seen some bad defenders in our time. I mean, Enes Kanter was like a great example of a bad defender.
Yeah.
He is not a bad defender in the way that Enes Kanter was a bad
He can
defender.
move his feet. Yeah.
And he's big, but like he just throughout that entire game, he so rarely had an impact defensively.
Yeah.
Like Mason Plumlee just like bowled through him a couple times.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really offer a lot of rim protection either. It was a
No.
tough.
In rebounding, they were getting some rebounds over him pretty easily.
They were. I
The
mean,
big
he
men.
did have 10, which that was like one highlight. And I will say, if we want to say one thing positive, we talked about that line he had in the G League, which included like 12 assists.
Mm-hmm.
The assist he threw, the one assist he had to Trey at the beginning of the fourth quarter, was super
really
impressive.
good.
Yeah.
It was him at the high post, and Trey had that cut to the basket. That was a really impressive pass.
He's a good passer.
Outside of that, though, that was a rough first extended look at J.
It
Will. I
was.
mean, we've seen him in summer league, we've seen him in spot minutes, but this was his first like real. Hey, well, let's give him extended run, see what he's got.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah. We have a question from @EvansTanya86. J. Will, is he too small to succeed at this level? Also, please give a shout out to his smile. Shout out to his smile.
I mean, easily top 3 smile on the team.
Yeah,
It's a great smile.
heartwarming. isn't
Great
it?
smile. He's very, very nice. He was really, really nice to my kids
Mm.
in particular.
That's important.
It was important.
It is.
It was great.
More important than defense.
More important than his defense or his lack of length.
For rhetoric on this podcast, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about his length, there were even times last night where I thought he defended whoever it was well. There was one play in particular where he was guarding Mark Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he defended him really well, but Mark Williams could just shoot over top of him.
Mark Williams is a giant.
Like it didn't matter. It was like such a size disadvantage mismatch
Yeah.
for J. Will.
Yeah.
And that's something that he can't fix.
No.
I almost feel like he needs to be more physical.
He needs to get stronger. Is
Yeah.
what needs to happen.
Yeah.
We've seen some short Keens as big men. in this
Absolutely.
league.
Without a doubt. I don't think that the height is going to be the reason he doesn't make it. I think he needs to get stronger. And I think the game just needs to slow down a little bit for him. Like he had that one pass to Trey, but other than that, like he wasn't able to really get into his game. Like he rebounded fine, but he needs to, if he's going to play 25 minutes in a game, like he's got to find other ways to impact. He get the ball right under the hoop and you think like, oh, that was a great pass.
Mhm.
They got it right to him.
Yeah.
And you're just like waiting for him to make a move.
And then he'd do like a power dribble and let like two guys come
Yeah.
to him.
Then they're just towering over
Yeah.
him. Like he's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, he's got to figure out timing under the hoop and figure out how to get his shot off.
Yeah.
Because once he stands there and it's like 3 or 4 seconds holding the ball under the hoop, and it's like, well, now it's impossible. Like you have to go right away.
Right.
Speaking of getting his shot off, Trey Mann,
Yeah.
he was getting some shots off.
He
That I think he is the reason I thought that they shot pretty well at the rim last night because
because he
everything-
didn't shoot well from three.
he didn't shoot well from 3 at all, but
1 of 9.
he was killing in the paint.
1 of 9. Yeah.
One
of
of 9. Like all his points came in the paint, attacking the rim.
Yeah, I thought he played great. I love that he took 9 threes. I think that to me, and I know people didn't like that he was missing them.
Those last 3 were pretty rough.
Dude, it's great. It was incredible. It's great. This is what you get with like Trey Mann when he's back. And I tweeted that he's back, and I stand by that. I stand by it because if he feels confident enough to take 9 threes, he's back.
Also, like I can't complain about how so many guys on this team are only going to take like 2 or 3 threes a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we finally have someone who's willing to take a high volume.
Yeah.
That
We're
he-
like, well, now because he didn't make them, I don't like that. You know,
That's how it
he
works.
took they were mostly the right shots. A lot of them wide open. A lot of them like he just
Yeah,
missed.
Giddy in particular fed him a lot
Yes.
of wide open threes.
Josh was awesome last night.
He was really good last night.
Josh was incredible. 21 points, 10 boards, 3 assists. I bet he had 15 potential assists.
Seriously.
It
I
felt
mean,
like that.
It really did. A lot of those Trey Mann threes too. The ones that I was like, dude, he had 3 or 4 that were just wide open. Take his
Yeah.
time, like
Yeah.
practice shooting threes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling Trey to practice shooting threes. I'm calling them practice
Shots.
shots.
Yeah.
Trey, practice shooting threes.
You're
dude.
wide open. You should practice. Have you thought about practicing shooting
Maybe you should
threes?
practice shooting threes.
Should try that, bro. Yeah, and then J-Dub had a classic 27 minutes, only take 9 shots where you're just like, I just want more. Like,
Yeah, the fact that he was fifth
Give me
most
more.
in shots on the team.
yeah, the fact that Trey
frustrating.
took 10 more shots than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything that J-Dub was involved in was just so good. And like in the flow of the game, and
Mhm.
every decision he made was like, yeah, that was the
great.
correct decision.
Yeah.
And we got a sort of alley-oop with him when Dort
Yeah.
had that layup that
I feel like the ball just flies out of his hands. Like when
It does.
when he's not ready for it to fly out of his hands, when
Mm-hmm.
he's like going to the rim, like he's just going so fast that the ball just.
He's too strong.
It's almost like the ball has flubber on it or something.
He's
it
too
does look like
strong.
that sometimes.
He can't control like
He had at least
What his muscles
He had
exert.
like 2 very memorable flubber shots where the ball just floats out of his hands.
But hey, if the other players are learning that and they're trailing behind, getting ready for that slam, maybe
Yeah.
it'll all work out. Maybe Dort should just start doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Just shoot it off the backboard, and the other guys will just know that it'll be there.
he's at 5,000.
5,000. Yeah.
But on Giddey, real quick, I thought his driving was really good last night because we've talked about how Giddey's been getting stronger as a driver. And a lot of times when I think of Giddey driving in my head, it's always in a straight line. And last night, and he's probably been doing this, but I just happened to notice it last night. He had a few drives to the basket where he was changing direction, doing things, taking
Yeah.
a circuitous route to the
Mhm.
rim. There was one
What's that word?
circuitous.
Circuitous.
Does that mean circles?
Yes, he was dribbling in circles.
It's
Just
intimidating.
dribbling and
It's
spinning.
intimidating when you use
That's what
words
Steve
like
Nash
that.
did.
Good,
Steve Nash.
good.
Steve Nash was circumferencing himself to the rim too.
That sounds weird. There was one play in particular and it was in the second half, and I can't remember when
A
it was.
circumcising route.
But I think that actually might make sense. I think that's still valid.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
He was like at the 3-point line, around 3-point line, the near 3-point line,
Mm-hmm.
and just had a couple of fancy little dribbles to get himself to the basket. I thought it was super impressive.
Yeah.
Because Giddey's one of those players that even when he's doing well offensively, like in terms of self-creation, it doesn't always look particularly smooth.
Yeah.
But I thought he had some smooth moves last night.
Smooth move, X-Lax. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I drink that as well.
He also got blocked by Mark Williams pretty badly, maybe 2 or 3 times.
He did.
Just not anticipating like his
It wasn't all
length.
good.
His finishing in that like close to mid-range spot though, where he's just kind of floating it up. It does look like it's not a floater because it has more of a straight trajectory.
It's like a push shot.
Yeah.
That push shot. It's really good.
It
Like,
has
I
its
feel-
moments.
Last night it was good.
How do you guys feel about Giddey leaving his feet so much? Like to pass. And sometimes he'll put himself in position for like a floater and jump up before really he knows exactly where this is going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes he does it, especially when he's passing. And it's similar to like what Tyrese Halliburton does, where he's trying to put the defense at a disadvantage when he's using it. But like traditionally, like if you're playing basketball, like if you leave your feet to pass, like your coach is gonna like ream you, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about
It's
it.
gonna kill you traditionally.
Traditionally, you're dead.
Traditionally,
you're dead,
your
man.
coach will kill you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those tend to lead to more of the turnovers that we see, and I feel like we've seen more of those types of turnovers this
Yeah.
year. So yeah, always room for improvement.
Sometimes though it works. I mean, there was a couple times last night I thought, like, oh, okay, that actually helped him. So I don't know. I have to ask Mark what he thinks about it because I don't know.
Overall, though, that was a rough game, and I think if you're in the choose dumb category like
Yeah.
myself, that was probably the second worst loss behind Houston. And I think what was particularly bad about that loss,
Detroit.
was bad as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that one where I would rank those.
Because they were grooving. The Thunder were grooving in the first half.
Yeah.
You thought like they were on their way to just destroying them.
Yeah, this game felt more like the Spurs game where they got down huge.
Yeah.
And then I was tweeting like, oh, maybe they should put in Bays and let's see what happened. They did, and they eventually came back.
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for them to bring back Bays in the second half.
I thought so too. I felt that way. And that's why I didn't ever tweet anything about Bays because I thought the minute I did that Mark would put him in. So I left it alone.
Well, we should mention, so yesterday at 10:59 p.m., is that possible? 12:28?
It's possible because it is a time.
It is a time.
Baisley did tweet in the recent days, I don't know what to do, upside down smiley face.
AM.
Why does it say PM on my thing?
Because
maybe
it was the night before.
before.
It was
Oh,
the night before.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a lot of speculation about what that could be. He could have just been bored.
I think he was probably just bored.
He probably was. But for him to not get any minutes in that game, I was thinking, even if he doesn't start, okay, maybe they'll play Jay Will or Muscala.
Yeah.
But I was expecting 20 plus minutes from Bays in that game.
I thought he'd start. And I thought he'd play 30 minutes.
And for him to get 0, especially in that game where they could have used some of Bays' strengths.
They definitely could have used him.
Like Bays is a better defender than Jay Will. And
He's just a better player, period.
yes, he's a better basketball player. I was surprised.
Yeah.
And I think if you are a Bays fan and you're still like hanging on to hope that something's going to happen eventually.
First of all, we need to have a talk about that.
And second of all, last night was kind of like, it felt like the final nail in the coffin of the Bays experience.
It's okay. It's okay that you can be a Baisley fan. That's great. You can continue to be one. He may work out somewhere else. He also might not. He may not catch on somewhere else.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like places he could land, and I was thinking about Detroit. I was like, I would definitely play Bays over Marvin Bagley.
They would not.
They would not?
No, heck no.
Why
No,
not?
no. Bagley's like a much better offensive player.
Dude, Bagley is the worst player on the Pistons. He's had the worst on-off numbers on that team 2 years in a row and has a 3-year guaranteed deal.
I know.
He is not a good basketball player.
They paid him a lot for as bad as he is.
One of the worst contracts that doesn't really matter.
They would not, though. I don't think they would play him over Bagley.
Well, they should. Baze is better than them. Baze is better than them.
Baze better than them?
Baze is better than them.
Are you sure about that? Are you like that?
Yeah, dude,
that Pistons team is just garbage. Like they're just not good.
They are. Absolutely. Yeah. They're terrible.
I'm not sure that. I don't know that you. I mean, Baisley would not matter on that team either.
I just think Bagley is one of the worst players for his contract in the league.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's mentality with Marvin.
With Marvin.
Morvan?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Baze would work. I mean, he's got to take a. I mean, he obviously needs a chance to play.
He kind of feels like a Hornet to me, actually. That's why I was surprised. It's like, well, the
That's
Thunder were
purgatory, man. That's purgatory.
well,
Who does he play over on the Hornets, though?
I'm just saying he feels like a Hornet to me.
Yeah.
You think he'd look good in the
Can you
Mhm.
not see him in the teal pinstripe?
You think you play the 7 minutes and 20 seconds that JT Thor did?
Definitely.
Yeah, probably actually.
Yeah.
JT Thor was pretty bad.
Yeah, he's not good. Yeah, I don't
And
know.
they still have Kai Jones.
Right.
Not that they're playing
He got a DMP. How does Kai Jones get a DMP?
because they got to play Mason Plumlee.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, please don't do that ever again.
I'm fidgety this morning.
I can tell. Yeah, it was one of the bottom 3 games.
And I think it might have been their worst defensive performance because there were other games where they allowed teams to have better offensive efficiency.
Yeah.
But you look at what Charlotte did, 31% from 3. It wasn't like they had a good night shooting from 3.
They did not.
They shot 65% from the line. So like all the things that you don't have as much control over, they weren't even good at those.
Yeah.
It's just they absolutely killed us around the rim.
This is where you don't look at the strength of schedule stuff with the Thunder and make assumptions. You know? Because I think like you look at the strength of schedule and you see like, oh, we got San Antonio and Charlotte coming up, like win-win, you know.
Yeah.
They've lost to all the bad teams this year.
Yeah, you know what? That game against Charlotte actually felt like a Thunder game of old, like when the team would be good.
It felt like a mellow
Yes.
Paul George.
Where they're just like
game.
playing down to the competition the entire game,
Yeah.
but they're still close enough where you're like, they'll pull it out eventually.
And
then they don't.
And they didn't. It was like when the Thunder played the Kings in Sacramento. I remember just like the feeling of just like, oh my gosh, how are the Kings up 11 right now?
Yeah.
And then they end up losing it. But yeah, the upcoming stretch is not easy. I mean, this could easily stretch out to a 4-game losing streak because I got Philly on Saturday.
And how scary is that after what we just saw from
Dude, it is
Charlotte?
It is what we talked about last week. It is exactly it. Remember? Because they were on this 3-game win streak.
We're about to be on the Wemby train, baby.
And it is just, this is what they're going to do all season. It's going to be the up and down where it's like 1 week we feel like we're in the play-in. The next week we feel like we're getting Scoot Henderson.
I'm thinking specifically about J. Will, though. Like, how do you start him against Embiid if Embiid plays?
Oh, you do. I think J. Will is a lever.
You think he's a lever?
Do you think they drafted him as a lever?
I think he's not a lever on purpose.
Not as a no. They did not draft him as a lever. I think they drafted him because he fits the culture. He fits the identity that they want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Physical, good passer, like skilled player. He is that. He just needs time. And so might as well just throw him into the fire. Let him play against Joel.
Dude, we're going to continue a run of opponents getting season highs or career highs in the case of Mark Williams.
Yeah.
It seems like every single game there's someone.
Yeah. This is tough because they got Orlando and you think, oh, that's a winnable game. It's on a back-to-back where they have to fly from OKC to Orlando for just a one-off game. So it's not like a road trip where they're like, yeah, we're preparing for this road trip. They fly to Orlando probably that night. They'll leave, get in super late to Orlando, then they'll have to play the next day, and then they have to fly back to Oklahoma City right after that to play Washington that Friday. Like it's just it's a really weird trip.
No, one thing that did happen is that the suspensions came down, so they will be without Franz for that game. Actually, be without both of the Wagner's.
How many? Wait, how many? I've missed how many games it is.
Well, they suspended 8 Orlando Magic players for one game, and
Yeah.
so they're splitting them up between 2 games.
Okay.
So for the OKC game, I don't think we're going to get Franz. And then Mo he got 2 games maybe. Yeah, he got 2 games, and then Killian Hayes got 3.
Mhm.
Hami got 1. Shout out to Hami.
Shout out Hami.
Good job.
But yeah,
Hami.
1 game suspension to 8 Magic players: Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter Jr., R.J. Hampton, Gary Harris, Kevon Harris, Franz Wagner, and
Yeah.
Arnold Schofield. And it's so many players that they have to split it up between 2 games so that they can field enough
So they
players
can
to
have
play the
enough.
game.
Yeah.
So who knows what that game will look like
Yeah,
as a result.
yeah. That's
That's a loss.
We should just
I
start
don't
just
know.
saying, if I feel like everything I have ever said about this team, the opposite happens. So, so if you're
You
choosing
should say it's a
dumb,
loss. Yeah.
you should say it's a loss.
I should say they're going to have a 4-game losing streak.
And you, who's not choosing dumb,
Yeah,
you should say this
What
is
are
actually-
you? You're,
what
you're
are you,
kind of a
Andrew?
roller coaster too.
I'm a roller coaster.
Yeah. Laughing.
I mean, ultimately, I want them to get a good draft pick. That's what I want. Still,
Mhm.
Still,
Yeah.
But you can't help it sometimes. Like you,
you can't help but get excited when you watch this
Right,
team some
right.
nights.
some
know?
nights.
who
not last
are
night.
you?
They beat Portland twice, and you're like, man, this is cool.
It's cool. and after coming
like
off
this.
that Memphis game without Shea,
Man,
Yeah.
you're like, wow.
Yeah, it felt great.
You mentioned it briefly, but we should say it again in case you didn't hear. The Thunder have been flexed into a national TV game on TNT.
TNT. I love that it's
Tuesday,
on TNT.
January 10th at the Miami Heat, 6:30 p.m.
Will they say his name correctly?
I can't wait for them to try to talk
Who?
about the Thunder. The
Shay.
TNT crew.
Shay.
Oh, how do they usually
Wait, this
say it?
did you say Tuesday? It's on a Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday, January 10th.
So Tuesday is the normal crew,
Okay,
isn't it?
I watch everything on mute.
Oh, you should not. You should definitely not, because you miss something. You miss Barkley saying Barkley saying his name wrong, or
And
Shaq. No, it was Shaq.
They both did, didn't they?
Yeah, Shaq was the one who said this. I got to play this clip for you. I'm loading it up right now as we speak.
Oh, this is where Gilchrist came from Nick Namagrams.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Legend.
that's his 14th 30-point game. Who's got 15 to lead the league?
Giannis?
Nope.
Oh,
Gilchrist.
Gilchrist. Let me tell you something.
Close. Shea Gilchrist Alexander.
That's what I said.
Gilchrist.
I said
Gilchrist.
I had no idea. Hey, let me tell you something. If Shea Alexander Gilchrist is not,
See,
thank you. He just said the same thing.
Shea Alexander
Gilchrist.
It's getting late.
Oh,
You know,
late.
it might be the cologne.
It is 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
it is.
If he's not, no, seriously, if Shea Gilchrist
Alexander.
is not starting in the All-Star game, we're not going to let the public vote again.
Okay.
He should be starting at the 2 spot in the Western Conference easily.
Yeah, his
Shea Alexander Gilchrist. Are they gonna say his name correctly?
I love how those two guys specifically are just like constant offenders of not knowing what's going on, like
Yeah.
in the current league.
Yeah,
And they're like, well, it's 1 a.m. That's what it is.
Hey, to be fair, those guys do have to stay up late,
they got to be up
On the
late.
East
and they are
Coast.
old.
and they are old.
Yeah.
And
I
they
want
get
to.
paid millions upon millions of dollars. Oh,
Well, you know, it's
Yes,
1
but it's
a.m.
also very late.
it's 1 a.m. I did forget to say this. In the first quarter, the Hornets were just pummeling the Thunder.
Yeah, they're shooting like 70%.
I'm watching the game with my oldest son. He looks over at me and he's like, Dad, the Thunder are toast. And I was like, no, they're not. I said, they're going to come back and I think they'll win this game. He's like, no, they're not winning this game.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I think they will. He's like, okay, you want to bet? And I was like, okay, what do you want to bet? He's like, I'll bet you $1 that the Thunder lose this game. And I made the bet. I had to pay up after the game. It was like more insult to injury there.
Wow.
Did you pay in cash?
Cash money.
Wow.
Tell you, the most surprising part of that story is you actually paying your bets off.
Oh, got him.
Ouch.
Hey, maybe your son should replace Luke on the pod.
He's been asking if he could.
Really?
Yeah.
True place, Luke. I wanted to give a shout out to one of our longtime listeners, Greg Stevens at Kiwi Greg 5555.
Yeah.
That was very cool of Greg to tweet that, by the way.
On November 17th, he tweeted, after a very quick look at the Thunder schedule, the earliest the Thunder could farce their way onto TNT national coverage would be the 10th of January versus the Heat if they want to dump Pistons versus Sixers. That was on November 17th.
Wow.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Completely nailed
Great
it.
job.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Listener of the week.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh.
New award.
New award, listener of the week.
Dun, 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 dun.
Does it only come from correct predictions?
It comes from outrageously correct predictions. So throw your predictions to us at Down to Dunk on Twitter. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But it's a great thing for the Thunder to get a national TV game, for them to get flexed in it's pretty great. I mean, it shows everything that Shea's accomplished this year and the team's accomplished. And I think it's wonderful. And also it shows like how bad the Pistons are as well.
Yeah.
And it shows they made it still kind of makes me mad that they took them off TV against the Magic. That game still would have been a really fun national TV game. Like I just think it shows like a lack of recognition of like the Thunder's roster for them to completely flex them out of that spot.
Yeah, I agree. Because you still had Paulo in that game. You still had Franz.
Yeah,
You still had Bol.
Yeah.
And Shea had 34 points in that game. It was a great game.
It was a great game. It would have been a great game for the Thunder to be highlighted, even without Chet.
Was it more unfair to the Magic or the Thunder?
Yes.
The Magic.
Yes.
To both.
To both. Yes.
But
it's
people hadn't established Shea as like a top 12 guy in the league yet.
yeah.
But if you have a top 12 player in the NBA, like that guy will play multiple times on national television.
The other thing is that was one of Poku's best games. And if that had happened on a national TV game, he had 16, 9, 2 steals, 3 blocks,
I'd have been
2 threes.
gloating.
And
it was in Oklahoma City too. That's what kind of makes me mad too, is like this one's in Miami.
Yeah.
But
TNT guys are lucky that Poku is out, so they do not have to say his name.
it's true. Poor Poku. He's out at least 6 to 8 weeks with a non-displaced fracture in his tibia.
Yes.
He'll be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks, which means he's out for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a big bummer.
It's a big bummer. And we were talking on Discord about his next contract because he'll be eligible for an extension this summer. And as good as he's been, you start thinking about next season.
Yeah.
Chet's going to be there.
Chet.
Jerry's probably going to be healthy.
Jerry.
They might have another draft pick. It's not.
They will have another draft pick.
They might. What if they traded Andrew?
Ooh. I like
You want to make a bet?
I'm trying to get listener of the week. There's a non-zero chance that Poku could become next year's Baisley. Where like it's just hard for him to get consistent minutes all of a sudden.
Sure.
After a season when he was starting to get consistent minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about his next contract. Like, one, like what do you possibly offer him as an extension if they wanted to offer him an extension? Like I have no idea. And then 2, if you're Poku, if you want to risk it and do like a prove it season and like turn down an extension, there's a lot of risk involved there all of a sudden because of the roster crunch that will likely continue to happen.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees for Poku. Like as good as he's been,
No.
I don't think that he is locked into 25. I mean, he's not locked into 25 minutes this year.
No, there's no guarantees for anybody on this roster, honestly.
Shea, hello.
Outside of Shea.
Thank
and outside
you.
of Giddy. And outside of
And probably Chet.
and Chet.
Okay, well now we've named 3 names.
Well,
And
and
maybe
probably it'll end up being J-Dub too.
and J-Dub.
And
So
probably
there's
J-Dub.
4.
So that's 4.
Yeah.
Keep going.
There's no guarantees for anybody that's coming off the bench for this team.
That's probably true.
Like even Jay Will, like this might be Jay Will's best shot to get NBA minutes.
Yeah.
Because you think about next year,
Mm-hmm.
like where does he break through the rotation?
He would have to outplay JRE at the very least.
Yeah. He'd have to be a lot better than Jeremiah. A lot. To make it.
You know,
And
Jay, are they the same height?
they're about the same height. Yeah.
Something that we already talked about. I don't remember talking about, players dominating JRE last year because of his height.
That's true. I mean, Jerry is much more mobile than Jay
Yeah.
Will.
Stronger.
And
Yeah,
stronger.
he is stronger.
Yeah.
He's a really good passer too. Like Jerry and Jay, this is pretty unfair the way we're talking about Jay Will.
It's his very
Just
first game.
It's like his first game.
First
He's
start.
been playing on the blue, and then we play against the Hornets, and they throw 4 guys taller than him at him the entire game.
That's the NBA.
He's taller.
is NBA.
Jay Will's actually taller than Jeremiah.
Really?
Wow.
Doesn't look it.
It's maybe it's the hair.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he measured taller than Jeremiah. So I don't know. I think they'll give him more time, but this honestly might be his best shot. And it really kind of sucks for him that it's like right now. And it's like, yep, we're gonna throw you in the fire. Let's see if it works. And for all we know, they'll start Baisley on Saturday
Yeah.
and play him 35 minutes. Like we don't know.
Wouldn't shock me.
Like it's going to be all over the place. But I would expect Baisley to get traded. If I'm Clutch and I'm looking at this situation in OKC, I'm thinking, get my guy somewhere else.
Do you think that? Okay. Do you think potentially Clutch is talking to Thunder management, and that is a reason that Baisley is not playing that much lately? Not even that they're like, okay, Clutch wants us to trade him. And they asked us to not play him or whatever. I don't know what it would be.
I have no idea.
But that the Thunder that is playing into their relationship with Baisley,
I have no clue.
his management. I'm
I
just
mean,
throwing it out there.
Just
It could
keep
be.
saying it.
I think it's more that he doesn't fit the offensive identity of the team than
Mm-hmm.
it is like a back channel. Like why? What does Clutch benefit from him not playing?
No, I'm not saying Clutch asking. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just.
You think that the Thunder are mad at Clutch and they're deciding not to play him?
Yeah, I think maybe that could be affecting the relationship.
I
Maybe
don't know.
Clutch is in Bay's ear.
I think
and they're
it's
saying Baisley, don't do this, don't do that.
I think it's more that every time Baisley dribbles more than 3 times, you know exactly what's going to happen, and he's going to drive to the basket and not do anything good. And I think Mark's had enough. Is what I would guess.
We're losing Baisley fan listeners right now.
And we're potentially losing LeBron in a few years
That's
from
true.
coming to OKC.
Exactly. Great
true.
point.
Thank you.
Yeah. Would you trade for No, we're not doing that.
What about Portland?
For Baisley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've got a lot of guys that are like him.
Why not one more?
Sure. Does he play in Portland?
Maybe.
I know. It's maybe.
Maybe. I'm just looking at the worst defensive teams in the league, trying to figure out some spots where he could potentially help.
Yeah.
Hey, if Washington trades Kuz, bring in Bays.
Yeah.
Bays, Zinger, front line.
That's a weird thing. Like Washington is in such a weird spot because they have guys that, I mean, they could lose Kuzma and Porzingis this summer.
They could.
And
then what are you?
they want to re-sign both. What are they if they bring them back? What are they if they both re-sign at like bigger numbers?
This is a great preview for this week's Saturday Slam and Jam, which is coming out today.
Like, what are they then? Like, what in the world are they doing?
I don't know. He tried to explain it.
Yeah, I kind
Josh
of,
gave it his best shot.
yeah. I feel like my mind turned into a bowl of soup whenever he was explaining it.
Bowl of soup.
Yeah.
What are we talking
Bowling
about?
for soup.
Bowling for Soup, the band. I was thinking about their songs. Can you name
Yeah.
a Bowling for Soup song? Go.
Something about a cinema.
I can't.
I can't either. Anyways, yeah. I think that's all we've got. Maybe we got a Tayshawn's Factoid Victory Mixtory.
Mm-hmm.
Tayshawn's Factoid Victory Victory. Tayshawn's Factoid Victory Victory.
Hello, I'm Tayshawn. This is my victory. Question, Alex?
Bowling for Soup.
Yes.
had a song in Phineas and Ferb, which happens to be Baze's favorite cartoon.
Oh, it's all connected.
What happened?
I don't know. Nothing.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh. Okay. Hello. I was watching
Hello.
LaMelo Ball last night.
Hello.
I was watching the game, and LaMelo Ball was playing in that game.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking, gee, this guy's fun.
Gee.
Everything he did, everything he does, the way he moves,
Gee whiz.
he's so fun. Isn't that fun? So I was thinking, I think he's a top 10 fun player in the league to watch.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to rank the top 10 funnest players in the league to watch.
Okay, guys, I think that are guarantees to be in the top 10.
Yes.
Steph Curry.
I didn't put him on my list.
What?
Really?
I just think that's a player that's like, yeah, obviously Steph Curry, but I don't have that much fun watching Steph
Really?
play anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I think I'm just over it.
He would
is
be
the
my
thing.
number one player.
You have so much fun watching Steph play.
He just does things that no one else does.
Yes, that's true.
When he's hot.
Like
He's hot.
a decade later, he is still doing things that no one else can do.
It's very cool. But when I watch Golden State games, I'm not like, man, I'm having fun watching Steph do this thing.
When he's on like
I think
a
I'm
crazy
just-
heater,
It's great.
and
It's
he's
great.
just
Listen,
shooting
I
threes, barely looking at the rim.
think I'm just numb to it
Running
at this
away?
point.
You're
I think I'm
numb.
just numb to Steph.
That's your fault. That's
But
your
he
fault.
can be on there though. I mean, we need to come to consensus. I'm all about
All right,
consensus
fine.
here. We can put listen, Steph is up there. I've got some more players just to
Well, can I name some and see if they're on your
Yes.
stupid list?
yes.
Zion.
Yes. He is.
Okay. good.
Obvi.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing you put Ja.
I did.
Jaw's got to be on the list for sure.
Okay, I will go now. So Luka's on the list.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Fun.
so the qualification for Luka would have to be Luka on League Pass the next day, where you don't have to watch the in between stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right,
find
right,
him
right.
exhausting to watch.
Okay, I can see that.
His 60-point game was pretty fun, especially the last minute of the game where you're like, the Mavs are going to lose this. This sucks. You know, he's had such an amazing game, and then they just pulled it. I mean, that was incredible.
Incredible. And every game he has just incredible highlights
Yeah.
of you do not see players doing things
But the
like
play-to-play experience is not fun.
Game to game, it is the Mavs can be pretty exhausting.
Well-
and also the Mavs can be not fun.
Totally. I completely agree. This is just player style that's fun. It's fun the decisions they make on the basketball.
Who else do you have on your list?
Bol.
Bobo is
Yeah, I agree.
definitely.
Yeah.
He was my most fun watch in person this year
Yeah.
by far.
So just so fun.
Yeah, when I was thinking about this before the pod, I only came up with 5 players, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
It was like Steph Curry, Bol.
Yeah. That is so funny because I was trying to think of players that aren't like the top players in
Right,
the league
yeah.
too, you know? And Bol was really the only one. Bol and LaMelo are really the only two I could think that could be in the top 10 funnest players to watch that aren't the top players in the league. I also have Shea on there. I think Shea is a really fun player to watch.
Yeah, I would agree.
I put Jokic in there, but I'm wondering if this year I'm just putting Jokic in there because he's always in there.
Yeah, he's fun because he's good for 3 or 4 plays where you're like, oh my gosh, this looks horrible, and
Right.
it just works. You're like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah, and he has had some of the most memorable passes of the last couple of years.
yeah,
Mhm.
I always remember that pass that he had Aaron Gordon for a game-winning 3
yeah,
on a national TV game that was just insane.
Yeah, ridiculous.
yeah. They're all over him. It doesn't look like there's any way he could see anything,
Right? Yeah.
and then the ball just flubbers out of his hand in a good way.
I like Flubber a lot.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking of Flubber. I
I
haven't
think
watched
you-
it, hadn't thought of it.
You know why? I think I've introduced it back into the zeitgeist. I think you saw my tweet that exploded and got 7 likes. And I think
I
I've
actually did not.
infiltrated
I
your.
did not.
I think you did. Maybe you scrolled past
Maybe
it.
I scrolled past it. And it's
and you just saw the
no
reason
the
about
picture of
Flubber?
Flubber.
You really did.
Yeah, I did. I was thinking about Flubber on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Is it a Christmas movie?
No, it is not. I don't know why I was thinking about Flubber, but I was.
Anthony Edwards.
So it actually only had 3 likes. I don't want to.
Damn, there was another.
Call you
I
out.
had 3 Flubber tweets. One had 7 likes. Okay, I had 3 in a row.
Oh, here we go. The movie Flubber was banned in 13 different countries because the specific tone of green used for Flubber was deemed too offensive.
Yeah.
Hashtag flub facts.
That's right. Both those flub flacks
Hey,
made up.
I'll give
Completely
you
made up.
I'll give you credit for this. You had 3 in a row.
Yeah.
3 likes, 5 likes, 7 likes. So
Wow.
That's
your
pretty
next
good
one-
for me.
If you keep going, you'll become one of the biggest accounts on Twitter.
It's true.
with
Yeah,
these
the-
flub facts.
Flub flacks. Flub facts.
Yeah.
Who else do you have on your
Anthony,
list?
Anthony Edwards, does he make the cut?
I thought about it.
Is it just it's just
he's
like
tainted by the Wolves.
he's got the stink of Cat and Gobert.
Is Gobert on your list?
Yeah, definitely
It's Rudy Gobert.
not.
What about Kevin Durant?
Yes, this
Is
year-
Kevin on your list? He's been unbelievable. This
He's
year.
like definitely one of my favorite playoff guys.
Yeah, he's been so good though for them.
He has.
Like last 2 weeks has been actually pretty fun to watch.
really fun. I think he's got to be on there, especially this year. He's been a top 10 fun player.
Dame?
He's not there. This
I like Dame. I actually like Anthony Simons a lot.
Simons
As like
is
a
really
random
fun.
guy.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's a good random guy.
You know who would be on the list if not for just being himself? Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyrie's incredible just because like he's just a normal sized human
And he's a
doing all-
hooper.
doing all these incredible things.
Yeah.
Like he's got, easily the best handle in the league.
Who's your least fun watch?
Oh, man.
Of like the really good players.
Yeah. And we already said Gobert, so don't say Gobert.
I'm kind of over watching Siakam.
Really?
He just spin moves to oblivion.
Yeah. It just feels like Giannis light. Like Giannis does what Siakam does so much better that when you watch Siakam, you're like,
I think it's like watching Siakam is like watching Giannis when Giannis is like 38.
yeah. Or when he was 17.
No, he's not like nearly as athletic. You know,
Yeah. If Boucher and Siakam combined powers, that would be a fun player.
are you a big Boucher guy?
Huge Boucher boy.
He won't stop talking about Boucher.
Boucher is what they call me.
Wow. I can't believe you haven't mentioned DeRozan.
You can't believe that?
Can't believe it.
Not fun. We have about 12 players right there. I don't know if we need to rank them, but we can.
We don't,
Okay.
but I think we came up with
I
a
think
good list.
I think that LaMelo would be a top 5 guy of that list that we just went through.
He's pretty fun. He's really good at those passes where he just like hooks it.
Mm-hmm.
He just
Yeah.
slings it back to someone at the 3-point line, and it's always on point.
Just everything he does, you watch him play, and it's like there's nothing fundamental about anything he does. It's such a unique style
Yeah,
of play.
even his shot is
Yeah.
like unique looking.
Yeah.
Nothing he does. The way he dribbles, where he's going, every pass, there's no like just solid chest pass.
No.
You know what I
all-
mean? It's like
He's all style.
everything's style.
It's all style. Yeah. Free LaMelo.
Yeah. He's great.
You're already wanting to get him out of Charlotte.
Yes.
You're attacking another small market.
Yes.
Andrew, you have to stand by fellow small markets.
I don't. Not this one. I know they just beat the Thunder, but they're going nowhere fast.
They've been going nowhere.
I know. That's why they're taking LaMelo with them. Get him out of there.
Where would LaMelo be?
Like, what's the path for Charlotte being good in the next 3 years?
Getting Wemby.
Just incredible luck is what they need.
Dude, LaMelo and Wembanyama,
Oh, baby.
that's top 1 fun
oh,
player.
man.
That's top 1 fun team.
It would be incredible. That's about the only path, though. Because like if they draft second,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I feel good about that being a Scoot Henderson destination. And if they got like one of the Thompson twins, like, do you really trust that organization to
No,
develop
that's-
those guys in
that's
the
so
right
true.
way?
Ooh, what about a LaMelo Trae Young trade?
Just swap them,
I don't know. Somebody would have to give more or
Like,
something.
just to punish Trae Young.
Just if you're Atlanta, like kind of resetting your timeline a little bit.
Yeah, I would probably do that.
I'm just
Is
looking,
it resetting your timeline?
He's
I mean,
younger. I mean, the
how
rest of the
much
team
younger?
isn't. I'm just trying to look at teams who I think might like go all in for LaMelo.
Yeah.
The Knicks.
Knicks for sure.
Knicks.
Knicks for sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They already did that though with they already went all in with Jalen Brunson.
Man, Toronto.
Brunson's good though.
He is good.
What about Utah?
Wiz.
What about Utah?
Yeah, Utah. There's a lot of teams. He'd be great.
He'd be great.
It'd
He'd
be
be great.
He's a fun player.
He's great. That's the whole point of this. Thank you for listening.
You proved it.
Well
Beyond
done.
the shadow of a doubt.
He's
LaMelo
a top 10
ball
fun player.
is fun to watch.
Take John's factoid figuring out the ring. Take John's factoid figuring out the ring.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to answer some Twitter questions. And we're back after that quick break. It's time for some Twitter questions.
Twitter questions. You've got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Now let's get down to it.
I don't know how much longer I can keep hearing his voice without crying. It's just so sad he's gone. He's dead.
I sent Luke a picture of these Legos that I saw
Mm-hmm.
on Discord that I thought looked cool. I don't know anything about Legos, but they look cool to me. I said, bro, you should get these. He responded, they don't really match the themes I'm going for. All right. Never mind.
At Kaler_Campbell. What was Tayshawn's segment originally named? I remember the episode where it was introduced, but it's become so entrenched in its current name that I can't recall its name.
I think it was Tayshawn's factoid Fictory Dictory.
Yeah.
Fickory Dickory. Yeah. Fickory Dickory Doc was
Yeah.
obviously.
It was obviously a reference to Hickory Dickory Dock.
Obviously.
At Thunder Chapter 2. Is the number 2 guy already on the roster? If not, is it more likely that he'll be taken in the draft or be acquired in trade?
I mean, I'm high enough on Chet where I think he absolutely could be the second best player on this team.
Yeah.
But we won't know that for a long time. I'm open to it being a guy from this draft. I mean, obviously, if they jump up, it's probably going to be from this draft.
Yeah. I think it's either Chet or somebody from this draft. I mean, they're going to eventually trade guys. I think that it's more likely, though, that it's probably Chet as the number 2 guy. I feel pretty...
Which is such a nice archetype to have.
Yeah.
That guy.
When you think about like what this team is missing, it's a big man that can
Protect
defend,
the rim,
finish,
stretch the floor.
Yeah, finish in the paint. Which, like, that's something I think we think about stretching the floor a lot, but like he finished at an incredible rate at Gonzaga around the rim.
And by the way, I mentioned earlier that they only shot 51% at the rim against the Hornets.
Yeah.
As I was looking that up, I realized they're worst in the league at the rim.
Whoa.
No team is worse at the rim than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
What about-
They shoot 62% at the rim.
What's the volume?
What's
rate?
the volume? Sounds like you're dying.
What's the volume?
What's the volume though?
Tell me the volume.
I can't find volume on Clean the Glass. It just has percentiles. The next worst team. Wait a second. Oh, that's frequency.
I can tell you
they're
first.
Yeah, you can give me that's the
Here,
volume.
here we go. They're third in the league in
Yeah.
terms of frequency
Yeah.
of shots at the rim. 38.6% of their shots are at the rim.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But when it comes to making them, they're at 62%, which is below Memphis, who's the second worst team.
Memphis.
I mean, I just think that it's a probably also just like a product of just getting there so much. Like you're just gonna, especially with young players, you're gonna miss.
Well, also, most of the guys on the team that are finishing at the rim are guards, and like for
Yeah,
Shea shooting,
exactly.
I thought you were going to say garbage.
I don't remember what Shea's shooting at the rim, but if he's shooting 62%, that's like a fine number for a guard.
Yes.
It's because we have no big men who are just like dunk, dunk, dunk.
Right.
We got no chat.
Just dumping it. We have no dumpers.
We got no dumpers.
Yeah, no
It's
dumpers.
true.
Dump spot is what we need. We need a guy hanging out in the dump spot.
Dumper spot.
We need a
Yeah.
dump spot guy.
Yeah.
Chet, and what you're saying, to come back to what you were saying,
Yeah.
Chet is a great dump spot guy.
He could be a number one dumper in the league.
He could be a top dumper.
Number one dump.
We're the top 10 dumpers in the league.
DeAndre
right now.
Jordan is like an all-time dumper.
All time
Oh,
dump.
man.
Yeah.
That's an
Agreed.
all-timer right there. Tyson Chandler.
He was a dump. He was
He was a dump king at the top of his time.
yeah,
True.
for sure. For sure.
At _ Tyler OKC. The starters have been fluid this year, but eventually I feel like Mark would settle into his best 5 at some point. By your way too early estimates, assuming that Shea and Chet are locks
Yeah.
on OKC's best 5, who takes the last 3 spots among the 23 pick, Lou, Josh, J-Dub, JRE, and Poku?
And Poku. I think of those names, the one I feel most comfortable with saying lock would be J-Dub. Not necessarily because I automatically think he's the best player, but just he's the easiest fit if
Yeah.
he can shoot.
If he can shoot.
If he can shoot, which we're all just kind of assuming that. Hopefully that will eventually happen.
We got Chip.
Assuming he can shoot, J-Dub would be the easiest answer for me. I still think,
Giddy.
yeah, but I was going to say, I still think Dort is going to be in that lineup.
I think the starting lineup day 1 of next season, and it also depends on like how high they draft.
Yeah.
If they somehow get the number 1 pick, like all bets are off. Like Wemby's starting, so
They might start 4 guys.
they might. Yeah, they're just like it's not fair for us to put 5 guys on the court now. Actually, so
Just Shea, Giddey, Wemby, Chet.
I think just depending on where it's too hard to predict what the 23 pick is going to be. So I can't just. I mean, they could have the 10th pick in the draft. So like I don't know. I think it'll be higher than that, but if they have the 10th pick, like the 10th pick doesn't always start.
If it's not like a top 4 or 5 guy in the draft, then we can probably assume it's not going to be a starter next year.
Yeah. So I think it's Shea, Giddey, Dort, J-Dub, Chet. That's what I think the starting lineup will be 9-1 of next year.
Sounds cool.
That does sound cool. I was going to also say it's not, and we were talking about Poku earlier,
Yeah.
having trouble finding minutes. It's also not a 0% chance that he could still start next year.
Absolutely.
He could, yeah. They could put J-Dub to the bench
Yeah.
or even Dort to the bench and start him next to Chet. If he continues to make progress, like he's got to get a lot stronger, which is why an injury like this is not great for him. But maybe he just lifts. Maybe they're just like, yeah, your leg is broken. Just like lift.
And that's the only part of his body that's like thick, the donkey and the trunks,
Yeah,
you know.
it's true. You
Maybe-
got the donkey in the trunks.
Chet and Poku can just chest press each other and
Yeah.
just get totally ripped.
Not enough weight for either of them.
That's probably true, actually.
It actually might be actually fact. Yeah, I mean, maybe this will be a bonding time for Chet and Poku,
I'd love that.
where they just lift every day together. They form this bond. You know, someone's going to write the story about Chet and Poku bonding through the last part of the season.
Look
in
at
the-
these two goofy guys
in the weight
hanging
room.
out with each other. That's the title of the article.
Look at these 2 goofy guys.
Hanging out with
Look
each
at them.
Oh my gosh.
Would you just look at it?
At House of Thunder _, which 5 players would you cut as of today if the Thunder were to use all 5 draft picks in the 23 draft? They're really only going to end up with 1 pick, just because the other draft picks are just not going to convey. But if you had to,
And you can't cut 2-way guys. I mean, you can, but you can't. You're not going to.
they don't
fill
count.
them in that
They
way.
don't count. So if you had to cut 5 guys from this roster, if the Thunder were like, "Hey, we're bringing in 5 new guys," who are you letting go?
5
of?
guys. Bays.
Bay's number 1, easy.
J. Will.
J. Will number 2.
Sorry.
I mean, you have to cut guys.
You have to. We have to cut 5. All right.
You have to.
Who's next? Who's next on my list?
Who's next?
Who's next?
Isaiah Joe.
I still really like
but
the
they
potential
steal.
of Isaiah Joe.
But like we're getting this.
Muscala.
Okay, Muscala.
Yeah. Thank you.
3.
2 more. Of Shea, Giddy, Dort, J-Dub, Poku, Kenrich, JRE, Trey Mann, Wiggins.
Can I cut some of the picks?
No.
I'm going to draft them, immediately cut them.
No.
Okay.
Jang.
I mean, right now,
Joe.
you'd probably say Wiggins, honestly.
Yeah. I don't want
That
to.
hurts.
But
I mean, I
know.
think the last 2 obvious choices are Wiggins and Joe.
I think you're probably right.
Because like you're not cutting Jang. Like, are you going to cut Kenrich? I don't think you're
You
going to.
could.
I don't think you're going to cut Kenrich.
You could.
You could do it. You're not cutting Jang. I don't think you're going to cut Trey Mann. Trey Mann played really well last night.
You could, though.
You could. Would you cut Trey over Joe?
No.
No.
Yeah. I don't
But-
think so either.
And also,
Some games I would.
A week ago, I think you would have.
cutting,
Yeah.
you can also trade these guys. So the premise is a little flawed.
It's just not the only way that you could make this happen. Yeah.
We can do a
I mean,
5-for-1
you
deal.
wouldn't cut all of those guys. I mean, some of those guys have actual value
Yeah.
to the league. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Just an interesting
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. Hey,
Because there's a chance that like all 5 of the guys that we named will definitely not be on the team,
I agree.
and including some of the fringe guys that we talked about, Trey and even Jang. Like we don't know.
Hey, can I read out Giddy's stats for December now that December's over?
No.
It's not technically over.
For the Thunder, it is. This was posted by Aussie DK.
They
in
do
Discord.
play on the 31st.
Do they really?
They
Yes.
do.
Well, then
yes.
never mind. I won't say it.
Keep it to yourself.
I'm not going to say it then.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it.
Good. We have to be fair.
Say it. Say it.
All right. This is a flawed stat because it does not include all the December games, but through 10 December games posted by Aussie DK, which I assume stands for Donkey Kong, 15 points per game in December, 9.2 rebounds per game,
Wow.
5.8 assists per game, 48% from the field, 48% from 3, 83% from the line,
Whoa.
7 of 7 last night, 53.9 effective field goal percentage.
That's really good.
Dude, that 3-point and free throw percentage.
Pretty sick.
Chip England.
Chip England.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
him
awesome.
getting
Keep
to the
it
line
up.
that much. Was that his season? Was that his career high for
Oh.
free throw attempts? 7 last night. He was 7 for 7.
It's got to be up there.
I don't know. Let me look it up real quick.
You know what? I will look it up. Keep going. Next question.
Our next Twitter question. Uh-oh, I lost it. Our next Twitter question comes from @Dortboy. What are your New Year's resolutions?
I'm gonna try to do dry an entire year. Dry.
You are.
Really?
Yeah, not drink for an entire year.
Oh,
Wow.
drinking.
What'd you think?
Not wet in the bed?
Not moisturizing.
No water.
Not showering.
Not one drop of water all year.
I can only bathe in my own sweat, so I have to run.
Because you have to put soap on before you run so it can sud
Yeah.
up as you go.
Yeah, that's what he meant. That's what he meant. You resolved to do anything, Tayshawn?
I've been thinking about the drinking thing. I'm definitely doing dry January, which
Yeah.
I've done before,
Yeah.
and it had great benefits.
Really?
Yes.
Do you get into any of the NA beers?
I have before. The Heineken ones are good.
Because I've tried about 20 at this point.
Wow.
Have you tried? I've heard the Sam Adams one is really good.
Oh, really? I haven't had that one.
Yeah, I think I'll try that one.
Don't you like a Dr. Pepper better?
I don't like
No.
soda really.
Really?
No.
Really?
You know what really got me
No.
through that January though?
That's what I
What?
like.
Drugs?
Sparkling, yeah,
Drugs.
drugs and sparkling water
Oh, yeah.
and candy.
Okay, so that doesn't sound.
That doesn't sound like you're
As
getting
good.
that
I
much
think
more
it's-
healthy.
I think so. I think alcohol is a lot worse for us than we like to accept.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. What kind of candy is getting you by?
It's just sugar in general because the thing is if you have a drink or two on each evening, which I guess is a lot. Like technically, like medically, that's a lot.
It's actually not, because I'm doing a study right now in our inclusion criteria. If you're a man, you can have up to 14 drinks a week, which is that. If you have more than that,
Can you
then we
choose
exclude
when you get those 14 drinks?
Yeah.
So I could do 14 in one night.
If you, yeah,
And
I would
it's
have
fine.
I would have to include you in the study.
14 does seem like a lot.
14 seems like, but 2 a night does not seem like a lot, depending on what you're drinking.
Yeah.
Like I drink absinthe, so that's a lot.
Every night.
Every night.
2 glasses of absinthe.
That was tied for.
And I sleep naked in my backyard every night.
I end up naked. I don't know how it happens.
I don't know how it happens, but
That was tied. He's had 7 free throw attempts twice in his career.
Okay.
The other one was the game against Houston that sucked.
Wow. Yeah, that's why we don't remember it.
That's why.
It's the 2 most unmemorable games.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll forget this one too.
what about you? Any rezos?
Oh, I honestly have not thought about it.
More pods.
More podcasts. I'm not doing enough.
More pods.
I need to do more podcasts. I resolved to have more podcasts.
Gonna start a blue pod.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have a lot of support from your team members too, every week. Just so consistent.
Showing
With you.
up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not bailing.
That's right.
Mhm.
Not disappearing
Not disappearing
for months.
without notice.
Not responding to listeners asking, where are you?
That's right.
But still tweeting.
People. Someone in the Discord posted Luke's Instagram post showing his apartment getting flooding
Yeah.
as proof that he was still alive.
Yeah.
Like, and Andrew had commented on it, so it was also proof that they were still in contact.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
So
still,
listeners are piecing together
we're definitely still in contact.
what's been going on with the L Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will not answer.
Yeah.
He has not been kicked off the podcast, though. That
It
is
is
for
not.
sure.
Yeah. 100% not been kicked off the podcast.
It'd be funny if we eventually got him to come back and then kicked him off.
I think that should happen.
Feels like the road we're heading down. Oh man, thanks so much for listening to our show. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you guys enjoy the New Year's festivities. Let us know what's your New Year's resolution. Let us know in the comments section on YouTube.
Or on the Discord.
We're on the Discord. Yeah, subscribe to the Discord. Come join us there. We're chatting. We're chatting it up. And yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube if you haven't done that yet. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys again on Monday.